Hey there, welcome to TREKOPOLIS. My name is Scott. If you haven't seen my channel yet, check it out. I create content on motorbikes, reviews, accessories, adventures, and a lot more. In my last video, I reviewed an aftermarket windscreen that I use for my Honda ADV 150. So if you're in the market for a windscreen, check out that video because I cover a lot of good tips and tricks that you should be looking for when you shop for a windscreen. So in this video, I take an early morning cruise to the BMV to finally get my motorcycle endorsement on my actual license. It's been 2 years in the making and the time has finally come. Let's ride.
Well, how's it going, everyone? It's been a few weeks before I've been able to make a video, and today, hopefully, today is my last trip to the BMV. You know, my debacle with that story over the years. So I finally took the motorcycle basic rider's course, or rider skills course, as I had in a previous video. And so today I finally had an opportunity to go to the BMV and get my endorsement. So it is 7:26 a.m. on a Saturday, and I'm trying to get to the BMV before it gets a mile deep as far as the line. And when I get there, you'll see there's people that are already standing in line here. But if you get here like maybe a half hour, 15-20 minutes before they open, you can get your slot standing in line outside. Sometimes it moves pretty quick because they let, I guess, about 20 people in initially. So anyway, I'm gonna get my BMV motorcycle endorsement finally stamped on my actual license, so then I'm officially a motorcycle rider, I guess you could call it. But I don't think anyone enjoys going to the BMV because it's just such a long wait, and they're completely understaffed, as everyone knows, no matter what state you're in probably. And it's just a nightmare and nobody likes it. I know I don't like it. I'd much rather be doing something else on my Saturday morning than going to a BMV. But you gotta get it done, as they say. So I should be okay. I should get there probably about, I would say, 25 minutes early. It's right down the road here. But I want to thank all my recent subscribers. I'm up to, like, I think I checked this morning, it's over 800. I think it's around 808, so that's really cool. I appreciate everyone. And the nice thing about it is, if I don't make a video for a week or two, I don't really see any drop-offs, which is nice, because that kind of tells me that people are actually enjoying the content and they're sticking around, so that's a plus. For gas is $4.92 here, still right under $5 a gallon here in Ohio. I guess you guys out west, guys and gals out west, are paying the price, but as they say, even out west, the cost of living is higher no matter what you do. But the incomes are usually higher out west. Maybe, I don't know. So here is the BMV. Let's see if there's anyone in line. I don't think so. I got here a little bit earlier than expected. Yeah, a couple person. Not too bad. I'm gonna park over here because I don't want anybody stealing my ride. Not gonna put it by the major road. People get vans and stuff and they'll come in here and pick up this bike like it's nobody's business and be off with it. This thing weighs, like, you know, under 300 pounds, so anybody can pull up in a van, and if you don't tie this up with a lanyard to some post or something like structure, I think I'll just stay here for a bit. Oh, that wasn't too bad. It is 8:10 and I officially have my motorcycle endorsement stamp on my, well, my license will get here in about, I think she said 8 to 10 days. They'll mail me a new license. So I don't know why. I don't know why they can't just print. Well, nope, they all come from the in the mail actually when you get a new license, I think. But I'm gonna go back here. I think there's a motorcycle, like if you were up at the BMV, there's a train going by, sorry. Always something going on in commotion here in this city. But I'm trying to see where that little testing area is for the motorbikes. I don't know if they even have it any. Yeah, I think it's back here. Yeah, so here's like the course for the motorcycle. Like if you come up here and take the test at the BMV, like you'd have to stop in this little red area. So this looks like this would be the course. So this is what you would do if you have to take the test at the BMV. But since I got the course in, the BSR, the basic rider skills course, I don't have to come here and do this. So you waive it, like I said in the video. If you want to check out that video, I'm going to have it right up above here, and that'll go over with my experience at the motorcycle course that I took. But this is the BMV where you'd take it apparently, and I don't have to do that because, one, I could never get in. Like I said many times, I could never they just didn't have them available. So maybe they are starting to lean towards more people taking the rider's course. I don't know. This is the state of Ohio, and they're kind of the last to do anything around the country, but I got it done. So hopefully, bye BMV, hopefully this is the last time I gotta come up here. So what happens is you go up there, and if you get there early like I do, I got there about 25 minutes before the doors opened at 8 a.m. and I got there and actually waited in line outside like I always do. Once they open the doors, you go in, depending on what position. I think they have about, in this BMV, they have about, I don't know, 8 to 10 windows, counter windows, and then the rest have to sign in at this little kiosk with your phone number and your name and stuff. And then what they'll do is you take a seat in the lobby, and they'll eventually call your name, and there's the symbol up above. There's the screenshot of what happened there. They call your name and they shoot you a text. I was D500, so I was basically the next person in line. Whoa, that bird almost just hit me in the head. Never a dull moment when you're on a motorcycle. So the BMV experience wasn't too bad this morning. Like I said, I was in and out probably the whole trip. The whole experience was probably like 45 minutes, which is very good. I mean, in past, you'd be sitting in line for 2 hours when, you know, the heat of, like when COVID and all that was going on. I mean, they couldn't even open the facilities, so there was a lot of backlog, a lot of people that had to play catch up, and it was just a bad time. COVID just, like, oh my gosh, put a whole stall in this country. I just wanted to say thanks for your patience. Like I said, I haven't been able to produce a video in a couple weeks, and I tell you what, if any of you have a channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I think the hardest part of having a YouTube channel is just the time factor. Especially if you have a day job like I do. You just, man, trying to find the time to do this is the hardest part. I really started, I would say, putting a focus on this channel probably within the last year. I've had the channel a couple years, and some of my earlier videos were just random casual stuff that I'm like, oh, this will be cool to film this. So I got this little GoPro camera, and I think that's before I even had this ADV. I like would film my bike ride or something. Like I have a Trek hybrid bicycle. It's really nice, by the way, but I would put my camera on that or my chest mount, and I would just film rides on the bike. What prompted me to do the channel was when I got this ADV 150, I wanted to start filming the motorcycle rides, which was kind of what I had in mind when I was even riding the bike. Like, I should get an actual motorcycle. That would be fun, because I haven't had one in like decades. So that's how TREKOPOLIS was born, basically. Doing some weaving here. That's really cool, that course I took. I learned so much, man, especially the push and the weave. That could save your life, man, I'm telling you. If you got something in the road that you don't see, you're going up over a hill and you come across like roadkill or something, or a log in the road, and you have that natural instinct to weave around it, it could save your life. So this will be a short video. I just wanted to kind of show the BMV experience for one last time. Like I said, hopefully I don't have to go up there anymore, at least for a while, because a lot of things you can do through the mail, or like if you get your tags and stuff, you can just go to the BMV website now these days, and you can pay for your tags and they just ship them to you in the mail. So really the only time you have to physically be at the BMV is when you're doing like license stuff like this, title exchanges, where you have to be there in person. And it's just unbelievable how many people need that stuff, like all the day, every day that line is packed up there, no matter if it's a weekday or a weekend. So now I'll get my actual official license in the mail, like I said, and I'll have the M endorsement on it with, I think the instructor on the basic rider skills course said you'll get a license with an M and then a novice underneath it, like I explained. And if you want to get that novice word removed, you have to go up there after about a year of riding, and then you can have the novice taken off your like license. Then you would just have the M only, and you're not labeled, I guess, as novice any longer. But I guess there's a point to that. It's if you've been riding for like a year, then you can have it removed. So now I can officially ride this thing without a helmet. Would I do that? No, I'm not going to ride without a helmet. Now, I'll take that back. If I'm just riding around in my own neighborhood, like the side streets and stuff, very gingerly, very slow like this, just kind of looking at the neighbors and the homes and never getting on the major road or anything, I might just put a pair of sunglasses on, why not, without the helmet, and just take a little stroll around the neighborhood. That would be kind of cool. But I am never going to get on a road with like traffic and stuff without a helmet going over like 20 miles an hour. There's no way. That's just me. Now, you folks that ride motorcycles with without helmets, that's your prerogative, and that's totally cool with me. I'm not judging here, I'm just doing what I do. Everybody's different. If you do take the chance and you ride a motorcycle without a helmet, more power to you. It's strictly a personal choice, man. Yeah, so that's that. Now, there's another thing that I didn't know, but if you only have your motorcycle temps, your temporary permit, you're actually not legally allowed to ride at nighttime, or you're not allowed to carry a pillion or a passenger on the back. Now, I did not know that. See, so I picked up a lot of different things when I took that motorcycle rider's course, because those are things I just didn't know, and I didn't really care to read into it too deep. So I rode maybe once at night, I think, but see, I don't even ride at night anyway, so that wasn't a major deal. So now I can ride at night. I don't have to wear a helmet, which I will. I'm trying to think what else. I could carry a passenger on the back of this. Not that anyone would ever ride on the back of this. Wife doesn't like to ride on this, so you know, just that personal choice. So I could technically do it, but I'll probably just be the lone wolf, you know, riding this thing forever, and that's that. Another thing I learned at the motorcycle riders course is we talked about the traffic light and the sensors, and somebody in the class said if it doesn't trigger the light, it's like a four-way stop and you just wait, and they said nope, that is not correct, you will get a ticket for that. Let's see how fast we can go today. Must be eating way too much pizza. I could only get that to 62. By the way, these markings on the road, these arrows you see, you got to be careful on those. They become very slick, especially when it's wet out, because that paint that they use for the roads, it causes a slick surface on those indicators, the arrows and everything on the road. So if you're riding a motorcycle, and especially in a curve like this, I try to avoid, especially in a curve, and they're not really riding the curve a lot, but I try to avoid riding over those markers. Just some little tips, you know, you got to always be aware. But the cool thing about a motorcycle is just that freedom and being out. And I don't mind the helmet. Guys say I don't like to be enclosed. I feel like if I got a helmet on, then I might as well just ride in a vehicle like a car or a truck. But you know what, I don't mind it. I don't mind the helmet. You still get the freedom of being out and the wind on your body and stuff. So it's a really cool feeling where the helmet doesn't bother me. I guess I'm just used to it. At first it was weird wearing a helmet, but now it just feels like part of the process. Just like putting your seatbelt on in a car, you know, you just, once you do it enough times, then you kind of feel weird not having it. Like if I can't drive my car without my seatbelt on. I feel weird about it. It just, I don't feel secure or something. It's just that muscle memory that we do as humans, where you get used to something long enough. All right, this is a very steep hill. Let me just twist and go and see how quickly this handles the hill. No problem at all. I mean, you're not going to fly up it. You're not going to go from 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds on a scooter like this. See, I even call it a scooter. But handling steep hills like that, I'm like 215 and the bike's like 300. So that motor's pulling like, what, 515 pounds? And it really has no problem. Honda does a really nice job with the engineering on these CVT transmissions. They're good. don't ever feel a shift, don't ever anything. It's just smooth. Oh, that reminds me, I will be doing some more maintenance videos coming up, okay? There's a lot of different maintenance items on this bike other than oil changes and stuff that you can do, so stay tuned for those. I'm going to have a whole library of maintenance on the ADV 150 as time goes by, and that's one of the plans I have.
Shut up and sit down.
Well, anyway, thanks for checking out the video. I know it was a short one. I tend to ramble a lot, but thanks for your patience. Hopefully you learned a little bit about going to the BMV and what the procedure is. It's really not bad at all. But do take a rider's course if you haven't already. And even if you do ride a motorbike right now, and if you're thinking about, should I take one or not, definitely do it, because it's only 50 bucks, like I said, and it's really fun. It's actually fun. You get to experience a different bike for a couple days and just handling and maneuvering, and you just pick up so many things that you just not even aware of. Like, wow, I never knew that.
I hope you enjoyed the video and learned a thing or two about the motorcycle endorsement process. I'll receive my license, a hard license, in the mail in a few weeks, and that'll actually have the M endorsement on the license. In the meantime, they gave me a temporary, like a paper printout that I just keep on me at all times until my license finally arrives in the mail. Now, after 1 year, I can go back to the BMV, pay more money, and get the novice portion removed from my actual license. In addition, I'll probably sign up for some more advanced riding courses because I enjoyed that BSR course immensely, and I think it's important to keep continuing that education and learning more about just motorcycle skills in general. So if you've been thinking about a motorbike or buying a motorcycle, do yourself a favor and take a course. It's going to be the best thing you ever did. And check with your local state, because it differs by state, I believe, for requirements on a motorcycle license. So you'll need to know the requirements and just basically what you have to do to obtain a motorcycle endorsement. Since I already had my standard driver's license, what I had to do was I had to pass a computer motorcycle test at the BMV, and upon completion of that test, you basically get your temps, your temporary ID. And I forget the amount of time, but mine expired after so long, so I had to go back and take my temps again, my computer test again. So I didn't want that to happen, so pay attention to when that temporary permit expires. I think you get up to 1 year, if I'm not mistaken. So once I had my temps, I could either sign up for a motorcycle rider's course, or I could perform the actual motorcycle rider exam at the BMV. And again, it's your choice, it's whatever you want to do. But I recommend a motorcycle rider's course because you just learn so much and it's a lot of fun, and you get to ride a different bike and you meet some people, and it's just a good experience overall. And upon successful completion of that rider's course, that waives the rider's exam that you have to take at the BMV. And keep in mind, you have 60 days after you take a rider's course to get to the BMV to actually get your endorsement. And remember to visit the Trek store if you need any accessories or anything that I cover in my videos. So take care and be safe out there.